rated by type. And then the D20s are in the middle, and, you know. Oh, careful. That is a D10. I think this is the D10 we're going to use, because it's trying to escape, so clearly it wants to be used. That's a D10s and D8. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so this is 5 D10s. I guess I could have rolled the percentiles ones, but, like, I wanted to show off my other dice, and I had them all on my dice tray, so let's do it. Let's roll 5 D10 to determine how much money we get. Hopefully it's high, because we want lots of money. Well, okay, well, that's a 3, and no, that was definitely a 3. That's a 6, a 9, a 1, so that's average. Another 1, yeesh, 3. Okay, so not great, but not terrible. We got 2 plus 3, that's 5, plus 9 is 14, plus 6 is 20. So 20 on 5 is slightly below average on 5d10, so 20. Okay, but not like terrible. So it's 20 plus 300. So 320 gold thrones per month. Yeah, so what we do is we bop this open. Income is 320 thrones per month. Thrones per month. Per month slash and or 400. Yeah, let's do 400 XP, depending on how we roll it. So let's, yeah. Save. Okay. Now we put this little D10 back in the bag. Close up the hoard. And then I put my dice, the dice tray dice, back in the dice. Well, okay, we're going to keep the two. You know what? We're going to keep these two extra D10s, my extra fancy one, that has a 10. Check this out. It has a 10 on the 10's face instead of a 0, which is kind of cool. And then we got this one, which I lost the D8 of this set, so I keep the, I have the D8. It's the D20. I lost one of the D20 from this set, so I keep all the other dice in my dice tray to be used as needed. Okay, 10 side up as per requisite 10, and then this goes 10 side. Okay, yes. All right, we're all 10 sides up. All right, this is good. This is very good. Okay, so, and then the quick play, which we're not going to use. So, bringing character to life. Oh, yes, it has a gender. The war-torn 41st millennium is not always an encouraging place to be for a female. Few get opportunities of their male counterparts, but by the same token, they also do not expose the dangers out there in the wilder parts of the galaxy. Certain Imperial Guard regiments recruit females to fight alongside men. The Ecclesiarchy and Inquisition likewise employ females at all ranks, but again, their numbers are not in proportion to men. For Dark Heresy, players may pick whichever gender they wish to play, with no handicap. On some planets, however, as the GM determines, being a female will present its own extra challenges. Note that in the text we refer to he throughout, but only as shorthand. This can equally be considered to say she. Okay, cool. So, a lot of parts of the 41st millennium women are disadvantaged, but that doesn't mean you can't play one or that they aren't around. There's just fewer of them. Makes sense. Okay. Same as the modern military, really. Because they took out the frontline fighter the deficit recently. A man without faith is a man without a soul. Suffer not the soulless in thy ministry, for they make doors for dangerous forces. Commandants to the Ecclesiarchy. Clerics are the priests of the Emperor, members of the vast organization known as the Ecclesiarchy. They are charismatic and capable leaders, as well as respected figures of authority. Clerics are trained in a wide variety of abilities and can turn their hands to pretty much anything. Most notably, they know how to lead and inspire, preaching from the front lines as they charge into battle. So we got starting skills, starting talents. Let's see. And starting gear. Ooh, I get a hammer. I can have a hammer. I could have a hammer or a sword. I kind of want a hammer. The hammer of the Emperor. I mean, come on. It's cool. We're going to have a hammer. a stub revolver, and 6 bullets. Or an auto pistol and 1 clip. I think we're going with the stub revolver. A crossbow, 10 bolts, or 5 throwing... Alright, no, we're definitely going with the throwing knives. Chain coat or flak vest. A killer necklace, because you gotta have your holy symbol. Ecclesiarchy robes. Good quality clothing. 4 candles. A charm, a skull. So just someone's skull that is good luck. A good luck skull. Okay, we have a good luck skull. And a backpack to put all our stuff in. So then page 62 gives us what we can take for advances. Let's write that all down. And then we're going to go back to Hive World. Not Hive World. We're from Voidborn. We were born on the ship. So we're going to write down all of the cleric stuff. We're going to write down that. We're going to write down talents. Let's see. We're going to write down the starting skills, starting talents, and let's see. Speak language, low Gothic. Okay, that's a pretty good start. Let's see. So we got speak language, low Gothic. Skills. Speak language, low Gothic. We got speak language, low Gothic. Int. Common lore, Imperial Creed. Intelligence, common lore. Imperial Creed. Okay, hopefully our willpower is 32, so not terrible willpower, and we can bump it up pretty easily, I think, as a cleric, hopefully. Let's see what we got. Literacy, int. Perform singer. Fellowship, ooh, okay. I can sing. We can sing, that's cool. Let's see. Perform singer. Fellowship. Fellowship. What was the other one that we had? Let's see. Literacy. Knowing how to read is the useful one. Also, so we have a lot of brain-based ones, which is good, because that's what we're best at. I mean, other than toughness, but I don't think you have any testness. Perform singer or trade copyist. Okay, and then we have trade cook or trade valet. Okay. I'm going to go with cook because it's intelligence-based and my intelligence is better than my fellowship. But I'm going to keep perform singer because being able to sing is cool. And a cook who can sing, like that works. Trade cook. So I know how to cook, I know how to sing. And you wouldn't have been copying if you was cooking. So, like, which is int-based, not fellowship-based, because I don't think he'd make a very good valet, but he knows how to sing. Weirdly good at singing. No, not the valet. Okay, cool. So we got that. Let me just... boom. Okay. Let's see. We have those skills, and then we have talents as well. Sorry, my ears are still kind of itchy because reasons. Talent is pretty good. Let's see. Nope, that's for guardsmen. Okay. Melee weapon training. Primitive. Okay, melee weapon training, so... Primitive. Pistol. We get pistol training. Let's see. Pistol training. What else? Basic weapon training or thrown weapon training. Since we already have melee weapon training primitive, I'm going to go with thrown weapon training rather than basic, because I have throwing knives. So how to throw knives. If I have throwing knives, I want to know how to throw them, right? And since I already have melee weapon training primitive, I feel like a hammer counts as a melee weapon, right? So we'll go with thrown weapon training primitive. Okay. And melee and thrown. So, okay, so then we got gear. For gear, here we go. Ready? We got hammer, a stub revolver, and 6 bullets. We have a hammer. Stub revolver and 6 bullets. 6 bullets. Go and 6 bullets. I feel like we should get more bullets because we have 320 thrones. First, we have our first month's salary because it's you get per 400 experience points, and we're starting with 400 experience points, so we have a month's salary to spend on this and that. I would say get revolver bullets because we have a revolver, so that would be a useful thing to have. I have a backpack too, though, so and an Aquila necklace because you know, as a cleric of the God Emperor, stub revolver, 6 bullets. What else we got? Crossbow or 5 throwing knives and 10 belts or 5 throwing knives. We have 5 throwing. We're taking the throwing knives. Five throwing knives, and what else we got? Chain coat or flak vest. I'm guessing that ack is supposed to be flak. I've noticed a number of missing throughout. The Rogue Trader has some too. I'm gonna say a chain coat. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the flak vest. Aquila necklace, ecclesiarchy robes. Okay. Robes, Aquila necklace, ecclesiarchy robes. Then we got the flak vest, 4 candles, charm, skull, and a backpack. So I just have a random skull, I guess, of something that I just have. I feel like there's 4 candles. Oh, and I have 4 candles. Might have to get matches. Would be another useful thing on the list of things that probably should get. Matches and more bullets. Alright. Aquila, 5 sub-revolver, hammer. Okay, so we got some fun stuff. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Let's go to, and then we go to page 62, and yeah, we're gonna go up for Homeworld. Okay, that's characteristics. Homeworld is here. Voidborn PCs. Okay, Voidborn. You were not born on one of the Emperor's worlds, but instead on a vast ship in the depths of space, perhaps even in the warp itself. Why this set you apart from your fellow man is unknown, but the way you look, act, and think is somehow different. You have been raised up in the company of psychers, and what other men fear or loathe is commonplace to you. Born out in the darkness between the stars, the Voidborn are an odd collection of misfits, strangers, and ill-omened folk. Perhaps birthed in the belly of a pilgrimage ship or aboard an ancient orbital satellite, these people are often considered to be somehow touched by the taint of the warp. The Imperial fleet is a vital factor in the maintenance of the Imperium. Without it, human worlds would be isolated from each other and from the protection of the Imperium. Trade could not exist, weapons could not reach the Emperor's armies, and world after world would grind to a halt. Space travel throughout the Imperium is dangerous and arduous. Most interstellar travel is undertaken using powerful warp engines. Within the warp, a ship can cover many thousands of light years within a relatively short time, dropping back into real space far beyond its starting point. Some parts of the warp, however, act as power vortices, sucking helpless spacecraft to their doom. There is also the constant danger of turbulence, warp storms, and loops. Ships can be sent thousands of light years off course or trapped in stasis forever. In the warp, there is no time and distance, only a constantly flowing stream of immaterium. On board a ship in the warp, a single month of perceived time may pass, yet in the material realm, anything from 6 months to several years may elapse. Fleets responding to distress calls or supply vessels on long voyages have been known to arrive months or even years too late. Voidborn characters. Adept. Voidborn adepts are often part of the administsphere of the ship, acting to serve the officer caste by analyzing data, attending to the navigators, recording the content of various holds, and so on. Others are tasked with more bizarre duties, such as keeping accurate maps of the vessel, preserving the integrity of the ship's bloodlines, or engraving the names of every crew member on the hull of the craft. Arbitrator. Voidborn arbitrators stride the quarters of the ship, ever alert for trouble and sedition. Some work at the behest of the captain, watching for signs of witchery and rebellion in the crew. Others maintain close links with the Adeptus Arbites, and instead watch for the officers for signs of corruption. Assassin. Voidborn assassins frequently take orders from the high-ranking officers of the ship. These assassins kill off troublemakers and suspected cult leaders before any corruption or sedition can spread throughout the ship. Others are members of strange death cults mandated by the Engine Seers, plucking their victims seemingly at random to offer up to the Emperor. Voidborn clerics act as padre to the lower orders of the ship, walking the bulk holds, offering confession to the sleepless, or screaming blessings amidst the crash and thunder of the gun deck. Some lead choirs of bilge scrubbers in litanies against the warp, whilst others ensure the Emperor icons are properly adored. Others act as spiritual advisors to the captain, while others still are part of the officer class. Alright. So, Imperial Psyker. Voidborn Psykers are prized and feared members of the crew. Some are employed to detect emerging Psykers within the crew, hunting them out before they can become prey to some fell Melfic horror of the warp. Others act to maintain defenses against such intrusion, whilst others bleed out portions of their soul to aid the ship's navigators, and some are trained to receive astropathic communications. Whatever their role, they are watched closely by everyone aboard the ship. Scum. Voidborn scum are misbegotten and outcast members of the crew, perhaps spawned through some forbidden intercaste liaison, or maybe from traditional class of untouchables. Whatever the case, Voidborn scum drive and control the black market aboard the ship, and adept at scrounging, stealing, or concocting all manner of illicit treats, from alcohol to fresh meat and worse. Voidborn tech priests are those given to care for the fabric and soul of the ship. Perhaps dedicated from birth or recruited through natural aptitude, these tech priests display an eerie connection to their vessel. Some specialize in knowing the ways and rights of particular systems, while others dedicate themselves to repair. Others still whisper into the captain's ears, their buzzing voices speaking of the desires of the ship itself. Those who live their lives on spacecraft must become used to the reality-altering process of the warp space, living in low or even zero-gravity environments, and of never knowing the feel of solid ground beneath their feet. Quite often a ship conducts its business in an endless cycle. Trade or mining vessels may never make berth, instead raising generations of families in the cold depths of space. Gravitational pressures, inbreeding, and warp anomalies take their toll. What effect the warp has on these Voidborn workers is uncertain, but there is something strange about them for all to see. Their features are drawn and their skin pallid. They may have some minor deformity or oddness about their speech, gait, or general appearance. Some Voidborn are raised on huge space stations, asteroid mining bases, battle fleet refit stations, or research platforms. The rest come from a variety of backgrounds: the crew of merchant vessels or warships, miners, prison guards, or prisoners, or even the servants of a rogue trader. The largest ships are vast, city-sized constructions, many of which are thousands of years old. Lobotomized servitors and tech adepts scuttle about their business, while menial crew, passengers, and merchants coexist in cramped corridors and tiny corridors and tiny quarters. At the head of the ship's crew sits the navigator, a strange breed of psyker who expertly guides the ship. Yep, okay, just checking. Oh, yes. Always gotta collect your rocks. Welcome back. I ended up using the reroll, and it ended up being lower. So, we still have kind of meh. Which one did I reroll? I think it was agility that no, it was... Yeah, it was agility because it was 32, and I got an 11 on the next one, so it was less agility, even less. But... and then for toughness, I rolled 2 10s because, of course, then you roll 2 10s. So, we have a pretty decent, mostly terrible mostly mess stats with terrible strength and perception, but really good toughness. So, you know. Then we broke down the movement rates, the income. We rolled randomly for, what was the one? Career path, and got cleric. So we have a Voidborn cleric. Which gives us all sorts of cool starting abilities. It gives us, let's see, trade cook. I could have had trade valet, but I have better intelligence than fellowship, so I figured that would be a better thought. And perform singer. I also could have had trade copyist, but I feel like perform singer is kind of cool. So I had that. And then we have throwing knives and a stub revolver and a hammer and a skull for some reason. Like a charm, just a skull. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but, you know, pretty cool. I have a skull. And, you know, just some other fun stuff. So then I went back to Voidborn part of the, here, to see what that would give us. We get a language unique to our home vessel, which gain the speak language ship dialect skill. So let me put that in our list of skills. Hang on. Speak language. Ship dialect. That's an int skill. I mean, if we ever have to... I mean, the Church of the God Emperor of Mankind is kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they guess they do. I mean, I get 320 gold per month, which is way more than freaking Scum make or anything. So I'm actually pretty well set for gold. We're gonna go for the last section and then do the different things with that, but I just want to see if I get anything else from Voidborn. Let's see. At the head of the ship's crew sits the navigator, strange beat of Psyker, who expertly guides the vessel throughout the Immaterium, following the psychic beacon of the Astronomicon. These Voidborn raised in the service of the Imperial Navy are among the crew of a rogue trader know firsthand the horrors of space and the sheer multitude of the Emperor's enemies. This knowledge often forces ship's crews to form insular cliques, too afraid to look up from their duties or mini-societies for fear of what might stare back at them from the void. Worst of all are the black ships of the Inquisition. These vessels are part of a large fleet traveling the Imperium in a huge circuit, visiting each Imperial world on their route once every 100 years or so. Their mission is to collect the psychic levy from each world, hundreds of psychers rounded up and handed over to the authorities for some unknown fate. Only when the vast holds of these ships are full of psychers do they return to Holy Terra. Some may display the strength and potential to serve the Imperium. However, most are sacrificed to the God Emperor, their gruesome deaths ensuring the survival of the Imperium. Life aboard these vessels is particularly harsh, for the psychers themselves are packed into huge holding cells, treated little better than cattle. You have called the interior of a hulking vessel or space station home all your life. Now you have been thrust into the company of others, people completely unlike you, and the culture shock is akin to plunging headfirst into freezing water. You feel awkward in the company of anyone who's not Voidborn. Your lack of social skills, unusual appearance, nervous disposition, and inability to carouse like your comrades combine to make you feel like a loner fish out of water. You only come into your own when your expertise is required. Unlike the rest of them, you are at ease around psychic phenomenon. Hi! Wow, Big Swole Lee. Hang on a second. We have another Lee. So, hey, welcome to the channel, briefly. My name is also Lee. Cool beans. Like, I don't know, I feel like we should fist bump or something. They, them vibes today. She or he is fine, though. I'm pretty chill about pronouns. Voidborn, PC. Oh, yes. So, we're doing Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Not Rogue Trader, we're doing Dark Heresy, which is slightly different. So, what's up? So we're creating a character based on a Warhammer 40k. They did a series of role-playing games. This one was actually 2008. I assumed it was early 20-teens, but or at least Rogue Trader was early 20-teens. This one was 2008. Dark Heresy is kind of awesome. So basically, you play as, I don't know how much you know about Warhammer 40k, because it is kind of awesome. I can do a lore dump if you want, but basically, it takes place in the 41st millennium and is just in the dark. I think it's in the far darkness of the, in the vast darkness of the far future, there is only war. I'm pretty sure is the tagline. Oh no, the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Which originated the term grimdark. So it is the very originator of the term. Wow. Okay. Good to know. I didn't know it existed until, because I didn't learn about Warhammer 40k until 2016. So, and it was, stopped. They lost, Fantasy Flight Games lost the licensing rights in 2017. So, and so I never actually heard about it until years later, when someone mentioned, oh yeah, they already made this game. I wanted to play Warhammer 40k, like D&D, but in a Warhammer 40k setting, and they're like, yeah, they already made a Warhammer 40k role-playing game. I'm like, wait, what? So I looked into it, and it turned out they lost licensing rights, and I scrambled to get a copy. But I ended up with a copy of Rogue Trader, and then I got Dark Heresy from a friend, which is great. And I've been working with it ever since, kind of playing around with the stuff. Oh, Hyper No Way! Welcome, welcome, welcome! Welcome, readers! Super cool. Hello. Welcome. My name is Lee. I just gave the spiel, but my name is Lee. Dayland Vibes today. He or she is fine. Yes, Dark Heresy. Yeah, we're doing Dark Heresy. I don't know how much you guys know about Warhammer 40k, but it is kind of awesome. And, I think you guys rated me before, on another Warhammer, oh, have fun with dinner. Bye. Thanks for the raid, by the way. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, we had Warhammer 40k. We're creating a character. We don't have a name for them yet, or gender, or anything. We just know Cleric of the God Emperor. Let's see. Hang on. I'll show you the notes we have so far. We got, I've labeled, temporary label of Goon number 1. Voidborn and a Cleric. So, yeah, Deathwatch, right, that's the one that's the one I got first recommended to, is, hey, Deathwatch is a thing. Like, so then I started watching, another YouTube video on Deathwatch, creating the, Space Marine characters, and then I think they get plus 50 to their rolls for, characteristics, because they're Space Marines. I love the Fantasy Flight line. There is a new Warhammer 40k role-playing game. It uses all these 6s. I have not looked into it yet, but I might try it at some point. But for now, I'm, Wrath and Glory. Yeah. Oh yeah, the new one is called Wrath and Glory. I have not had time to look into it too much yet. But I'm working with this one. I actually got invited to play by a friend of mine. So I rolled up and I ended up with a Hive World or Scum. So I'm gonna, my plan for this is, when I did for Rogue Trader, what I did is I created a Rogue Trader ship and just rolled up dozens of characters to form as, not dozens, but, well, over a dozen characters to form as the crew of the Expectus Primus. And just kind of went with it. This one I'm gonna kind of set up a squad of goons, and we'll come up with some lore for them to go together. Yeah, I know. I've been loving the Rogue Trader. It's a lot of fun, and it does get a little crazy sometimes. I reworked the warp table, actually, because I realized that having the warp table published in the book is great, but then, of course, your players can also see it, so they know every time they roll on the warp table what they're going to get. And I'm like, no, shouldn't know what they're going to get. So I rewrote my own version and then made it a safe journey much smaller possibility, because getting into Warp Grenades is fun, and I had a great time with it, with them having like craziness aboard their ship and all sorts of stuff that led to it. But we'll see with this new crew that I'm setting up now. We have a Voidborn Cleric. I was looking up. Yes, what we were doing. We were looking up in the book what Voidborn traits we get. One is, let's see. We get Speak Language, that's the skill, and then traits we get, what do we get? Charmed. Unconsciously channel the fickle power of the warp, making them preternaturally lucky. Whenever you spend a fate point, though not if you burn one, roll a d10. On a roll of natural 9, you get to keep the fate point, I believe it is, because I have one Voidborn character in Rogue Trader game I'm running. Let's see, we have to wait, hang on, a few minutes to make the thingy go. I do not lose the fate point. Yep. So, let's see. We're going to write this down here. How we're going to do this. Let's see. We're going to put that underneath fate points and 3 fate points. And then we're going to put under here Charmed. No, we're going to put them right next to fate points is how we're going to do this. Yeah, okay. So we'll put that there. We'll put it right next to fate points. Then we'll see what else we get. Let's see. We get Ill-Omened. Whether because of their strange looks, clannish ways, or unwholesome air, the Voidborn are shunned and mistrusted by most. In addition, the Voidborn are most likely to attract any negative attention that the party of acolytes creates. Accusations of curdling milk, disgruntled merchants, children with handfuls of Grokstung, and so on. You take a -5 penalty on all fellowship tests made to interact with non-Voidborn humans. Okay, let's see. Why don't we put this down underneath talents? Yeah, we'll put gear at the bottom. Ill-Omened. Receive a -5 penalty with Voidborn human, non-Voidborn. Okay, Ill-Omened. What else we got? Charmed, we got Ill-Omened. What else we got? Shipwise. Navigations are basic skills for you. Okay. Navigation, Stellar Int, and Pilot Spacecraft Agility are basic skills. Okay. Shipwise. Let's see. What was the... it was Navigation, Stellar Int. Let's see. And the other one was Pilot Spacecraft Agility. Okay, we got those. Then we got Void Accustomed. Ooh, we're immune to space travel sickness. Immune to space travel sickness. Okay, so we got immune to space travel sickness. What was that called again? Void accustomed. Space travel sickness. And zero gravity does not count as difficult terrain. Does not count as difficult terrain. Okay, cool. So we got that. What else we got? Void accustomed, and then charmed was the space. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's the last one. So Steve sits down to create his character. Not quite sure what he wants to play, so he leaves the choice up to fate. He rolls the percentile and gets a 60. He finds Aklai hails from an Imperial world. He reads over the description and makes a few notes about his life before serving as an Inquisitor. Then recodes all the information on his character sheet and then applying the effects of his traits to his skills. Forbidden lore. Okay. Finally, he makes a note to increase his willpower characteristic by 3. Now that he's done with that step, he's ready to generate characteristics. So we generated, we don't get any characteristic bonuses from Voidborn, but we do get cool little thing with fate points, a dislike by planet-born people, and some good skills in dealing with on-ship problems. So that's pretty cool, including zero-G and basic navigation. So all fun. Okay. Then we have our gear because of clerical training. Then we go to page 62, and we're going to do a little cheat sheet. Assassin. Cleric. So novice, initiate, priest, preacher, and then cleric. And you can have confessor or an exorcist, and then if you go confessor route, you get a bishop or a hierophant or a zealot or a redemptionist if you go the exorcist route. So we don't have to worry about the route just yet because we're still a novice. Tends to the religious needs of the Imperium. It is completely separate from the Adeptus Terra, concerned with looking after mankind's spiritual needs rather than maintaining a galaxy-spanning empire. Nevertheless, the Ecclesiarch is a vast and powerful institution comprising of millions of clergymen and hundreds of thousands of dioceses spread across the far reaches of imperial space. In the past, this has led to the Ecclesiarch into abuses of power and outright civil war, such as the Age of Apostasy, which Goj Vandire. Yeah. And the Ministorum endures, guiding humanity in its superstitious and dogmatic worship of the Emperor. At the forefront of this vast church are the clerics, preachers, confessors, and missionaries. Unlike the cardinals and pontifex that scurry around the ancient quarters of great cathedrals of ancient Terra and Ophelia IV, the spiritual homes of the Ecclesiarchy, the clerics and other such clergy live and work amongst the population. It is here that they preach the word, spread the faith, and shepherd the human race. For if they were negligent in such duties, chaos would take hold. Clerics are fiery individuals who lead from the front. They are charismatic men and great orators, able to incite and inspire common folk with their speeches, commanding loyalty, respect, and wonder in the Emperor and his ordained servants. On many occasions, the Imperium has used such men to rouse populations to action at a critical moment of foul Xenos invasion or to flush out a deep-rooted chaos cult. A cleric has many skills, is an orator, can hold his own in combat, and is wise. However, such a broad base of skills means that they rarely specialize. Still, there are those within the Ministorum that follow the path after the others have moved on to learn a new lesson. This breeds such a diverse clergy from overly suspicious zealots who see heresy around every corner and stir up entire populations to burn incense on a burning pyre, to those who will steep themselves in ancient lore, spending years in great dusty catacombs studying aging scrolls on pointless intricacies of ceremonies and rituals. Despite many attempts by numerous ecclesiarchs, the Ministorum has gained many disparate groups and ideals. All have a common theme of worshipping Him on Earth. Wow, Him on Earth. That is a new title for the Emperor. It is in the details of how to pursue the faith where such disagreements and inconsistencies arise. Over the years, This has spawned numerous different orders within the ecclesiarchy. The majority of clerics belong to one of the different orders, and this has profound effect on how clergymen perform his duties and preaches to the masses. Although never acknowledged publicly, it has been rumored that occasionally these orders have gone to war with each other, though open bloodshed is rare. Inquisitors find clerics useful acolytes in their ability to interact with and influence local populations have proved valuable on many occasions. From a cleric's point of view, his reasons for shunning the duties of the Ministorum and becoming an agent of the Inquisition can be manifold. Some see it as a form of penance, others view Inquisitors with awe and unthinkingly follow those most worthy of the Emperor's servants. The more zealous see their service with Inquisitors as a way of fighting heretics up close, a chance to purge the galaxy of foul deviants too much of an opportunity to ignore. Right, and then that's the chart. And an image of what our guy might look like. Characteristic advances. Okay, I can bump up my willpower and fellowship. I get 400. And I can take... So I can take... Let's see. I feel like I need to bump... my wife... Oh, Voidborn Scum in our campaign. So far she has been the voice of reason as they try to escape the space hulk they woke up on after their cryopods failed. The other players are a feudal world cleric and a war-torn world assassin. Shenanigans have ensued. That sounds cool. I'm actually about to start as a Hive World Scum in a Dark Heresy campaign who just got recruited by an Inquisitor sight unseen. Just kind of, hey, you want to have a job? Yes, please. Get me off this planet. And so he is now off doing a thing. We don't know what we're doing yet because it starts next Saturday is our first official session. So that's pretty cool, though. Always gotta love shenanigans. I generally run rogue traders, and my players get into so many shenanigans, and I'm just like, most of which involve, like, the one time they opened we don't usually stream our games. I do want to stream a rogue trader game at some point, but so far for this group we don't stream, because we also don't play on video, we only do voice, and streaming a just voice game is a little tricky. And a lot of the people are young, and we don't have great schedules, which means we skip a lot, so it's not a great game to stream. But I definitely want to stream at least a one-shot for Rogue Trader. And/or Dark Heresy, or maybe combine them somehow. I don't, gotta figure something out. Because it would be really cool to do a streamed game. That's my plan, is to get a game together, like a one-shot, streamed, which I'm hoping happens soon, because, it'd be fun. I'm gonna get some shenanigans on stream. Because that would be kind of fun. Let's see. Oh, yes, shenanigans on stream. It's 1:30. Okay. Just keeping an eye on that. Let me see. What kind of advances should we get? Weapons, ballistic, strength, toughness, perception, willpower, fellowship. Okay, yeah, no, I know that. There's a whole, I think you have to be a rank 5, a rank 5 Dark Heresy character is equal to a rank 1 Rogue Trader character. I remember this because, it's actually noted in the Rogue Trader rulebook. I remember, this well. Which means I would have to dole out huge amounts of experience points to create a character that would be able to be transferred. But we'll see how that goes. First thing we got to do is get this guy set up and then figure out... we're going to do all of the... Let's see. Ballistics. Why don't... let's see. I get 400, right? So why don't I do willpower and fellowship up by... I think it's... characteristic advantage. Let's go to the top of this. Nature. Alright, let me... Names. We definitely need a name. We will need a name. Okay. Career paths, getting started, character advancements. I just want to see how your character's career path is decided among During the character creation process, your choice of homeworld will determine what path available to your character. You may decide to pick your career path for yourself or use random tables to choose for you. Each career path has its own dedicated section within this chapter. Once you know what path your character is following, take the time to have a good read through the appropriate section. This will tell you all the important things you need to know about playing your character and how you can expect to develop over time. Each career path uses the following format. In each career path section, you can find a description and illustration to help you give some ideas about what your character might be like. This section tells you a little about the background for the career and how it fits into your Miriam as a whole. Each career path is divided into a series of ranks. This chart tells you the name of each rank, as well as the level of progression necessary to reach a certain rank. Career paths allows you to improve your character's raw abilities or characteristics. Depending on the nature of the career path, some characteristics are more difficult to increase than others. This chart, +5. Okay, so it is a +5 increase. Rogue Trader characters are more generalized in terms of abilities, such as Weapons Master, just like knowing all the basic weapons. Whereas Dark Heresy characters have to learn those skills with training over time, since they start as nobody. That's true. Anyone who builds themselves into a Rogue Trader's retinue is well experienced over, has had years of experience on this and that and the other thing. Whereas anyone, Inquisitors tend to pick up lowlifes and scoop them up and then teach them all of the things they need to know. Which actually makes a lot of sense. So we get +5 advances, which I'm going to do, which our plan on that is, because we get +5 advances, so +5 advances, which means we go to page 62. So that means, that's Assassin. Cleric. Okay, so then we would be able to get different novice advances. All right, so we can take novice advances. Let's see. We can take characteristic advances or novice advances. I'm going to bump up willpower and fellowship, because we could use a little higher of that, and ours are not great. So if I'm going to... and then that's 37, which is good. So we're going to go with XP spent. That's 200 out of 400. And then we can snag... So we get advances in those two, and then we can pick two... Okay, Trade Cook, which... I mean, we already have Trade Cook, but we could do Trade Copyist. So I guess you get Trade Cook or Trade Copyist, so I think you could then take the other one. Pistol Weapon Training Lav. Resistance Cold. Resistance to Heat. Sound Constitution. Perform Singer. Thrown Weapon Training Primitive, which we already have. Well, those are 200 each, so we want to be careful with those. I mean, we could... I could also take Swim, if we wanted. I'm tempted, but also there's no reason he would know how to swim. Let's see. Trade, basic weapon training. We have Common Lore, Ecclesia, Awareness. Awareness is a good skill to have. I think we're going to go with Awareness, because, yeah, we have very... Okay, actually, how do we... Perception. Let me look at Perception. Yeah, 250. No... No, too much. We can't. Oh, let's go with Awareness. We'll take Awareness as a skill and then bump the Perception up, or we would bump the Perception up if we played the character later. So let's go with Awareness as a skill, which I believe is a perception based awareness, and that's perception. And then we get Awareness as a skill, and then that's 300 out of 400. Alright. I mean, I don't have a las gun, but I guess I have a little... I could get a las gun. So if I had a stub revolver... Alright. Why don't we go with pistol training las, and we'll get a las pistol. Then we can do one on each hip. The revolver on one hip and the las pistol on the other. Alright. We'll go with pistol training las. Sure. Alright. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Oh, solid projectile. That's what they said pistol training SP. Is in solid projectile. That's what... Okay. Solid projectile. Which is why we have the stub revolver. But we also have a las gun on the other hip for other trouble. And then the throwing knives and... Okay. This is good. Alright, that's another 100. So that actually rounds us out nicely. And that brings us up to 400. Okay. Now comes the fun stuff. You ready? Oh, here. Oh, sorry. I'll bring up the writing again. Okay, now comes the fun stuff. Are we ready? Fun stuff. We are going to get... First thing we're going to do is find... What do I have? My chart 1. Okay, so we're going to bring these both down. This is my chart 1, which we'll use a D10 for the... Let's see. We'll grab the rainbow percentiles. And this D10 for the evens odds. And... Makes sense. That's actually a pretty good strategy. Most of my experience with combat is running it, and all of my players have bolters because they're rogue traders. They have better weapons, so I'm used to them having bolters, except, so I just kind of, yeah, that's my usual go, because I focused a lot on non-combat, stuff. As both a DM, as a DM, I almost always have a lot of roleplay, not so much combat, so... goes for Rogue Trader games too, and I guess Dark Heresy, although I'm not running the Dark Heresy game, so we'll see how that goes. But we got percentiles, and this one, and we got a chart. Are we ready? Let's do it. Let's roll for gender and sexuality. I'm excited. Okay, so... Alright, let's see. That's not 91. This is the second time this set of dice has rolled 91, and a 4, so 91 is binary trans, but female, so a trans guy. Okay, so he. No, it's not, it's pan. Never mind, 91 is further up the chart. So, pansexual, and she cis and pansexual. Okay. You got... Wow. I think pansexual is pretty awesome. Okay, let's do it. Let's bring them back up. We'll bring this back up and that back up. So okay. Let's see. Pansexual. Okay, now we need a name for her. She needs a name. We have a gender... She's a woman. I mean, she does have trade cook. Although pansexual isn't necessarily anything to do with pans. It could be a fun little drink. Sure. But the question is... Sorry. Alright, sorry about that. The question is, what is her name? Should I roll on the chart randomly, or do one of you want to suggest a name for her? Let's do it. She could have any kind of name. Ooh. Power. Actually, though, no, not a cast iron skillet. It would be like a griddle. Okay, now you're giving me ideas about, different kinds of cookware. Because if you upgrade to a... Hang on, think about it. If you have a self-heating pan that you use to cook with, right? Because it wouldn't be hard to have a skillet that had a power coil inside that would heat up so you didn't need a stove. And then you would use it to hit somebody and they would get damage from the heavy pan and damage from the heat because it would be heated up, obviously. That would be a power weapon. What is the technical term? I need a name. She still needs a name. Sent Mouser of the Shovel. Makes sense. We need a name for, Kriegscore. Okay, that makes some sense. Ah, yes, Kriegs. We still have to figure out what kind of ship she was on and like a whole thing for her, but we need a name for her first. Is what we need. Sorry. My ear is really itchy. Alright, we're gonna put 10 up. Always store your dice on the highest side up because that is how vibes. Alright. Lyranetta. Liliana. Ooh, Liliana's good. Let's go with Liliana. Or Lucifina. Alright. Lyranetta's good, though. I'm going to go with Liliana. Let's do it. Liliana. Let's do it. Let's do Liliana. Okay, we got this. Liliana. Now she just needs a last name. Because 1N. Liliana. Let's put a little dash. So, Liliana. Sweet? You know? I think Liliana Sweet is a good name. Let's do it. And I'm not sure if you meant sweet as in that's really cool or sweet as in the name, but I had a very good friend whose last name was Sweet, so, you know. Sweet. Yeah. Let's do it. Liliana Sweet. Okay. So, now we have a name, and, it works. Liliana Sweet. Okay. Now we just have to save the document so we don't lose her. And, let's see. Voidborn Cleric. Let's see. What type of ship? Alright, we're going to have to create a roll table. This is going to be fun. So what we're going to do is new. Roll table. We're going to go with type of ship. Then we got one is merchant ship. Really? Alright, well, let's see. We'll save this just in case. Do you know what page it's on? Oh. Let's see. Do you know what page it's on? Is the question. Let's see. Is it up by, let's see, Voidborn? Probably. Let me go back up and see what we can find with this. That actually makes a lot of sense. Oh, and we have to roll for a, appearance. Yes, near the end of the homeworld section. Alright, yes. Bringing your character to life. Let's go. We rolled for gender. Appearance. Let's, Voidborn. Skeletal, stunted, gaunt, gangling, or spindly. Why don't we roll... Oh, I'll show you this. Hang on. There's this table. Let's start with this table and roll for size before we do anything. I'm thinking these because they seem to be doing well for us, so let's roll it. Ready? Okay. Why don't we roll for this before we do that? And then, and then we should roll for age. And then we should roll, yeah, we'll roll for age, and then we'll roll for type of ship, if we can find the thing, and then we'll go from there. And if we can't find it, we'll make one. But I think rolling for, you know, if we have roll tables already. Hi! Bloodthirsters go in the Alpha Beast Pack Battalion. I do not know the answer to that. Also, hi, welcome. Bloodthirsters go in the Alpha Beast Pack Battalion. Alright, let me... I think if it's your game, you're gonna have to... I honestly... Let me check something real quick. I mean, it's a good question. I just, oh, Age of Sigmar. I'm guessing it's an Age of Sigmar, yeah, it's Age of Sigmar. I do not go with Age of Sigmar. I am Age of Sigmar Warhammer. I have no idea about anything to do with Age of Sigmar Warhammer. I heard it's terrible and that it ruined Warhammer Fantasy. I do not know if that's true or not. Sigland would be the one to ask, who is not in our chat right now. He usually is. He's commonly in our chat and actually knows about Warhammer Fantasy. No worries. You can stick around if you want and watch us make 40k characters, but I do not know about the Alphabet Battalion. But I would say, if it's an Age of Sigmar, if I remember correctly, though, you would play as armies, right? It would be more of a thing-based game. So I guess it would depend on if your opponents would allow it. Because if you agree with your opponents to allow something, it doesn't matter if it's in the rules or not, right? That's how, for a role-playing game like Dark Heresy or Rogue Trader, any rules arbitration is decided purely by the GM. Now, for something like a war game where you're arguing with your opponents, I think it would just be talk to your opponents and say, I have this build and I'm not sure if it's legal, but what do you think? And if they agree to play... Oh, I'm playing 40k. Oh, so Dark Heresy is a role-playing game. Here, I'll show you. Let's see, this is 31, just so... let me go to the top. Dark Heresy is what we have right here. It is a RPG based on Warhammer 40k lore, done by Fantasy Flight Games. So it's the role play. Now, the trick with the role play is that, I'm not, my experience with 40k as a war game is less than, is not so, I only know a little bit. Yeah, it's a Dark Heresy. It lets you work for the Inquisition. So basically, it's based on Warhammer 40k lore, but it is a role-playing game. And that's what we're working on, which is kind of awesome. I'm not going to lie. And we had a character, Liliana Sweet. Let's see. Liliana, where is she? Yep, there we go. And we, started getting her skills and... Yeah. I mean, it kind of is 40k D&D, although it's a different system. But yeah, it's kind of the same theory. I mean, I guess it's not for everyone. Some people don't like the RPG aspect and just like the wargame aspect. Me, personally, I'd rather do RPG, but yeah, that's cool. What was I going to say? Oh, yes, I was going to roll for a appearance for our Imperial, our Voidborn. Let's see. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by. What else? Okay, so we're going to roll for a appearance. 40, 50, yes. So we're going to roll the D percentile. And then we got skeletal, stunted, gaunt, gangling, or spindly. Sounds kind of cool. 90. Okay, this dice is really good if we're rolling crits, because that's a 94. These dice are, I agree on RPGs, because I am, like, I did have a few of the, war game minis, the, Cadians that I bought and put together, but honestly, I'd rather do RPGs. I love the lore. That's what drew me into Warhammer 40k, was the lore. Not the tactics, but the lore behind the world was, that's why I love Warhammer, honestly. Let's see. 90, that means spindly, which is 2.10 meters, or no, 1.95 meters, 70 kilograms. So 1.95 meters, let's see, let's put this 1.95 meters, and 70 kilograms, or, we're gonna do convert, imperial conversions, because I am a colonist heretic, and we use feet. Yes, we need feet. 6.3 6 is 6. Okay, so 70. No, let's centimeters to meters. How tall? Centimeters. To feet in height is 6'4". Okay, 6'4.5". So, sure, absolutely. If you want to show mini paint job, that's great. I am not good at painting minis. I put them together. I did not paint them because I do not like paint, but painting. So we got 6 foot. Hang on, 6 foot 4 3/4. 4 3/4 inches. 6'4", and 70 kilograms is more metric conversion. 70 kilograms. To pounds is 154 pounds. Okay, so 150. Okay, yeah. So we're just gonna round it up to 6'5". Yeah, we're gonna round it up to 6'5", and then 155 pounds. We're rounding up because we're rounding up with the height too. Yeah. So 155 pounds. It's 154.3, I think, but we're rounding up to 155 because she got an extra half inch of height or something, like extra quarter inch of height. So we'll throw in an extra 0.75 pounds to even it out. Yeah, so very, very tall and skinny, essentially. And let's see. Age, we're going to go with Imperial Voidborn Youth Mature Methuselah. Warrior Old One. Okay, let's see what we got. 50 plus D10. Okay. Well, that's for if we get a high number. 20 plus D. Okay, 20 plus 15 plus D10. Okay, so we either youth, mature, or Methuselah for our age category. Rolling on the same. You know, why don't we mix it up? Because these ones have been giving us high numbers. Let's see if we can't mix it up with the other. The other guys. Okay, yep. Hang on. So there's a chart here. For age. We'll roll on that, and then we'll see if we can find the type of ship chart. And then it'll be 2 o'clock, and I'm gonna have to end this. 93. Okay, so this would be really good if we were rolling crits, but not so well. 93 is Methuselah. So it's 50 plus D10. So she's just an old woman. Okay, you know what? That works. She can just be an old woman. How old is the question? So 50 plus a D10, right? 8. So she's 58. Well, that's not that old. You know, 58 is not old. Let's see. 58 years old. Okay. Just call gangly older woman. You know what? Let's do it. She's kind of an older woman. Let's go with it, you know? And then we can get her that. And we can... then we look up and see if there's a type of the past. Oh. Quirks, Pharaoh World, Hive Class, Voidborn Craft Options. Here we go. A Space Hulk. Warship Rogue Trader. Ooh, okay. Let's see if we can, I'm going to roll this one again. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to roll another, because we've been getting two ridiculously high numbers. So we're going to try for this set of D100s and see if it does something different. Another set of D100s. Ready? And we're gonna see what kind of result we get. Let's do it. 62. Okay, so we're not rolling all these 90s, but this actually might work out well. 62 is slightly on the chart. Warship. You and Bridget moored the crash and thunder of battle and grew up amidst the gun crews and the troopers, crammed into the rank-smelling bunks or stultifying formality of the officers' quarters. You are likely to be a great respecter of authority with a liking for procedure and no-nonsense attitude towards slackers. So, probably served as a cleric, a chaplain for the Imperial Guard unit. Voidborn. We'll go with Warship. Okay. It is 2:57, and I need to end the stream by 2 because I have work later in the afternoon. But I really much thank you so much all for coming. There's a lot of you now. Okay, thank you all so much for coming in. I always appreciate it. Let me put up 2 quick announcements real quick. The Discord, which okay. The Discord, which is my, the stream Discord, I have an invite. Okay, let's do this real quick. Alright, please don't be mad. Alright. Come on. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to have to get a code to set up to work. Discord is being stupid. In the meantime, let me tell you about something really cool, which is, check this out. Ready? It's a necklace. It's one of my favorites. It is from a company called Relentless Rebels. There's this one. And they make really cool necklaces like this and other fun stuff. They have very good quality stuff. They're also in Europe, though. So it is, so shipping can be a little tricky, if you aren't in Europe, but if you, like cool jewelry and you want 20% off really nice jewelry at a already fairly reasonable price, let's see. Then I highly suggest you go and do the thing, and you can take 20% off because they hooked me up with the code. They're a sponsor, so they're pretty awesome. Let's go log in. All right, Discord is being very stupid, and I can't get it to work. So for now, I am gonna have to not give you the code. Actually, you know what I can do? I can try something a little tricksy. Give me half a minute to this, and no, let me see. Or it's being really stupid on purpose. Okay, yeah, it's also being stupid here. So, alright, so Discord is, so I will have to not tell you about the Discord just for now, but if you follow the channel, you can come back and I will give you the Discord. I will, actually, tell you what, if you follow the channel right now, I will send you a message when the Discord, when it stops, like Big Swoley, I will send you a message with the Discord over Twitch when Discord stops being stupid. But yeah, and for now, we will raid, let's see, who's up? Ooh, we got Little Bones. So let's go to Little Bones, because Little Bones is kind of awesome, and he's doing a hair dyeing experiment, I think? So I think this is going to be kind of cool. Let's go. Let's pop in, see what Little Bones is up to. She's awesome, very cool, friend of the channel. Absolutely suggest, hang out, does D&D stuff. Very cool friend. We'll do it. We'll raid, and I will see you guys all later. Bye-bye. Let me